One seat, some seats, a couple of seats here. Two seats or one there. One more here. Okay, guys. Thank you for all. Welcome to Advanced Programming Specialist Group. It's great to see you out and see we're pretty much at capacity. We still have 2 or 3 spare seats, but we'll make sure because we had surplus of but we are recording this on Google Plus YouTube. So anybody who wasn't able to get in, you can tell your mates. You can find the video on YouTube after the event. If you go to our web page, you will find a link there. Okay, in a few days' time. Anyway, so welcome. I'm glad to see you. I know that there are some faces that we haven't seen before because there are people from other specialist groups who we invited. So if you're from one of those groups, also a very warm welcome to you. I'm delighted to say that after over 2 years of actually looking for a speaker on Hadoop, we have tonight Dr. Edgar Meij from Sydney. Right. So let me do that properly. Dr. Edgar Meij from Yahoo Labs in Barcelona. I'm sure he's going to tell us a lot more about Yahoo, or a little bit about Yahoo. A little bit. Right. Who is a researcher in what I would loosely call information retrieval, semantic information, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about it. And having been in the past a postdoctoral researcher in that's for university or university? Yeah, university. So we've got a very well qualified speaker, and I think we're all dying to hear more. So over to you. Yeah, well, we'll shoot on in as we go. One quick notice, which is that some of us go to the wine bar afterwards and have a drink. I'll tell you more about that at the end. If you're interested in joining us, you're also very welcome. But over to you, Edgar.
Thanks. Good question. So my name is Edgar Meij. Right now I work at the Yahoo Labs, as I mentioned. I promise it won't be a commercial talk for Yahoo. One thing Jeff did mention is that when I was a postdoc in Amsterdam, but actually when I was in Amsterdam, I collaborated with some people from Sarah. There is the Dutch National Computing Center. And we came up with a pilot to basically, the idea was we got a proposal for setting up the first, let's say, Hadoop cluster for non-commercial use. So the idea behind it was we set up a cluster of machines, put Hadoop on it, and that's basically that researchers from academia or non-commercial organizations use this. So from that I gained a lot of experience setting up Hadoop, working with Hadoop. I'll get into a bit. The outline, so I'm going to start with a little bit of background. It's going to be very high level. I mean, who here hasn't heard of Hadoop? So, okay. The other people, has anyone here ever used it? Just want to say. Yeah. So it's going to be very high level. We can get about it. I'm going to start with the key ideas behind Hadoop.
We're good.
Super modified. All right. Then in the middle section, I'm going to show a few screenshots on how to actually use Hadoop. So some coding examples, basically. And I'm going to conclude with sort of zooming out a little bit, the broader picture. So Hadoop has been around for a number of years now. And in the meantime, there's grown a whole ecosystem of systems and approaches and tools and projects around it. And finally, I'm going to conclude with some current developments. So what's happening in let's say, Hadoop land right now. Basically. The first things first, let's start with a little bit of background. So I'm guessing all of you have ever heard of the term big data. We don't use this term. Let's not get into this discussion right now. It is a fact, however, that the amount of data that's being created and replicated and generated, and I mean, just the amount of data that's in the world out there today is actually increasing at a staggering rate. So there was an estimate by IBC at some point that estimated the amount of data that was created and replicated in 2012 was about, let's say, 3 zettabytes. No zettabyte is a billion terabytes. You think of not just the big web search companies, the big web companies in general generate a lot of data, have a lot of data, but also, let's say, research that generate data. So, for example, the large hadron collider is generating or supposed to be generating 800 petabytes per year of just raw sensor data. And of course, there's the big web companies. So Google, for instance, claims to processing 20 petabytes a day per day. In 2008, so that was 6 years ago. Facebook has 60 petabytes of storage. On their own, they're pretty meaningless. But the point here is that there is no data out there, and we need approaches and algorithms and models and computational frameworks to be able to cope these kinds of data. We at Yahoo have looked up the numbers this morning. Right now we have a total of 355 petabytes of storage. With all the processes combined, it's about 700 terabytes. Insane. Especially if you take it in the context of Bill Gates, right? So, how to deal with these kinds of data? How to run computing on these kinds of data? So, typically you would say, well, we need to do parallel computing, right? We need to do parallel computing. As most of you may know, that doing parallel computing is non-trivial. It's actually very hard to do right. There are all kinds of issues. There are issues around shibling, synchronization, data, fault tolerance. There are all kinds of architectural issues. Let's say diverse cluster of machines. There are all kinds of programming models that you can use. APIs is probably one. You can share memory, that all you can use Qt. The main point here is basically, if you have this data, you want to run computation on the data, run an algorithm. Basically, I want to be developing an algorithm. I don't want to be dealing with the parallelized parallelization. So, ideally, what we like in this situation is a solution that basically provides these sort of system level parallelization issues away from that developer. Ideally, what we like is something that would separate the what basically from the how. So, the developer or user would just specify the actual computation that the machine works with that. And then the execution framework or the runtime basically deals with all the rest. Really deep. What we'd also like, especially in the case of having large amounts of data, is you could report the amount of access to the data. You fetch a lot of data you seek. You don't want to use it for petabytes of data. Ideally, I'll get to this in a bit, you also want to move the processing to the data. Data around the cluster where the available node is. And ideally, you would like to be able to scale out instead of up. So ideally, what you would have is a situation where you would have, let's say you have twice the amount of data you would process, you just have linear time computation. than the reducer. Also, ideally, you would also be able to scale it out the other way around, so that if you add twice the number of resources, you cut down ideal characteristics. Promising we can help if you can make it. But really best. So from a very high level point of view, what is a MapReduce? Basically, it's this. So the idea behind it is that you have a task you want to perform, work. And the idea is that you can split up the work, or you can split up the data, in this case, and perform the same task on different subsets of the data. This means, see later, that these tasks, there should be no dependencies between the two. The idea is that you have one job you run, you take a small part of the data, you run your job on a small part of the data. If you have the situation, then you can easily, let's say the work that you want to do is on a very large data set. You can split it up. Every machine takes a little part, does the computation, and passes it on. And then you have, of course, to combine and aggregate your results. So this whole idea was first written down, or the solution to this was written down by Google in 2004 paper, and they called it MapReduce. Basically, what they were saying was a typical large data large data sets. This typically involves a number of steps. Basically, what you would like to do is you want to iterate over a number of records. Then in the second step, or maybe the same step, what you want to do for each of these iterations, you want to extract a small, interesting nugget of information. You may want to shuffle the source, you want to get into this, and you want to aggregate these results. Okay. And finally, you want to generate an output. So the key idea that they proposed in this paper was actually a functional abstraction of these two steps. So this extracting part, the little word that's extraction before the source data, and the reducers. So, so what does this mean, MapReduce? Well, in a nutshell, all the developer has to do, the good thing and bad thing, all the developer has to do is specify two functions, basically. So the idea behind MapReduce is to specify a map function, which takes inputs key value pair, it's going to be anything. It's a text or some object or it doesn't really matter. And what Mapper does, it outputs, for each input key value pair, it outputs a new key value pair. This case and V don't expect them to be the same. This can be different. It can also be more than one. And of course, key value pair. And the developer then defines a reduce function that takes inputs these key value pairs. Again, reduce the output. The key notion here that they quote in the paper is the fact that for this reducer, every reducer gets the same key. So that's graphical interpretation later on. Basically, what it means is that you have two different mappers who both generate the same output key, with two output keys generate the same key. And ideally, the execution framework takes care of it. A very simple example. Let's say, so yeah, you mentioned already I'm an information retrieval person, so I count words. So an obvious example here is a word count example. So suppose you're given an input document, and you want to count the word through the word through. So your key value inputs for your mapper might be something where you have a line number and the text is the actual contents of the line. You then split up each of these lines into words, and your key value pair output just determines your balance. Then in the reducer, like I said, so the output of the mapper goes into the input of the reducer. So the reducer gets the terms, And like I also said, the user actually gets all the same output keys together. So if let's say you have 2,000 mappers and all of these generate term counts, all of those end up in the same reducer. So basically what the user gets here is the term, sorry, the term up, doesn't get very over large number of ones. And all the user does is simply sum of all the values and emit the term. Or if you're more directly defined, this would look like put it into the diagram. So again, we have some inputs, key value pairs, we have 4 mappers, and each mapper basically generates term out key value. So if I use the navigation already. So it's all going good. It's nice. So I mean, like I said, the execution framework handles everything else. It's not entirely true. Because especially in the MapReduce situation, you can have, like I said, so each reducer receives the same key, right? So you need to have some kind of function, say hashing function, even an input key specifies which reducer is very good. Basically means that if you have a skew distribution, you can have one reducer and you have all the results from all mappers. So as a developer, you can also specify this partition function. Takes inputs this mapper output key and generates a reducer, size reducer. Finally, you can also specify a combiner. I'm not going to talk about this one in great detail. The idea behind a combiner is that at the output, at the end of the mapper, basically you have these values in memory. The idea behind a combiner is you can use this information to use the process. Since we have these value pairs in the anyway, we can use position. So going back to this paper, so this is MapReduce runtime that I talked about, the execution of the framework. Basically, it takes care of the scheduling, so assigning nodes to your cluster to do this. It also takes care of data distribution, synchronization, so keeping track of which data goes where and which node is what. And it also takes care of errors and faults. So if there ever a node goes down in your cluster, framework will detect which node went down and start to fill up some. And this is all done on top of the distributed file system. So this MapReduce thing, what is it? So as you may have guessed, this can actually refer to 3 things. MapReduce in general is just this programming model that we just described. MapReduce is used in this. MapReduce can also refer to the actual execution framework, so the whole runs on the cluster. And it can also refer to a specific implementation, but there are more of them. So like I said, Google developed this thing with Edgar. Google has a proprietary implementation of MapReduce in C++. I know no one knows the actual details, but you know. And at some point in time, there was a guy, Edgar, who is anyone here ever heard of the Lucene retrieval library? Okay. So Doug also worked on Meij, the web programming project. On Meij, he had this distributed file system, and this was a natural extension to what basically implements MapReduce on top of this sort of how. At some point, Yahoo was interested in this, and they decided to hire them. So they then paid to work on but anyway, so Yahoo was a big supporter of Hadoop from the very beginning. Still are contributors to the project. Although nowadays it is an open source project. It's an open source project you can download your own. But there are also lots of other research implementations. I'm not talking about these, but there are people that specifically MapReduce idea and apply it. Someone actually makes one for decision trees. So like I said, yeah, so the members use Hadoop. This is Hadoop. This is fine. But Hadoop is always more than this. It's also the actual data distributed file system. So if you consider this situation where you have a task, you specify the mapper, you have some data. Ideally, what you would like, you want to, let's say, for each member, fetch the data from, let's say, network event storage device. Or every network, it's very expensive. You can request across the network, it's data. So ideally, what you would like, is you would have data locality, right? And what Hadoop, or Hadoop in general, also brings to the table is a file system. For Google, it's called Google File System, or yeah, for Hadoop, and the basic idea here is that what you want to do is, you, like I said, you don't move your data to your workflow nodes, your computation to the node. We can have some graphical representation later on. So this is basically what this would look like. What you see here is on the top left side is a Hadoop line. Just of the workstation, whatever. Down here is your cluster. There are 4 racks in your cluster, and each block is a machine. No. And what HDFS does, HDFS has one particular thing. In the network called the main node. It's virtual file system. So it's a virtual file system. And where on the distributed file system, these files are actually stored as chunks with fixed size. So you can go to your file computer. Chunks and pointers to where these chunks are. And your main node actually keeps track of where these files are, where these blocks are in the file. So we log them up to each file. So there's a single master, there's name nodes to coordinate this access. There's also nodes for notification. So usually what you want to do is you want to write the file to the system, the client requests to write, the name node says, well, this file is somewhere, you can put it here on this particular machine, data node. And so the name node will give back the address of this particular data node. Application where you should the file, and your client will like it. HDFS also has this built-in replication system going on, so in every cluster, in every file system, you would have at least a replication factor of 3, which means that as soon as you write your block file, the name node will pick this up and will start replicating the file across the network. Ideally, actually across the racks. So at some point in time, one rack will hold out, it will actually select the data. The additional benefit here is, like I said, you can move your data or you can move some data. If you want to run your APSG program on a certain set of data, the name node will do itself on which machine is
So can I just ask if the main motivation for replication is liability or it's to enable parallel
both.
But if you wanted to enable parallel computing, you might have many more.
Yes.
So that you could buy that.
You can find this. The idea behind this is basically so this T stands for the task tracker, which means that all of these nodes are not just data storage devices, they're also computing nodes. It basically means that if, let's say, these 3, rec 1, 3, and 4 are obviously doing someone else's job, you will run yours, you can still start the task. Also, we also have a secondary name node here, which sounds very fancy, but it's nothing more than I'll get to this later on, but as you can see, we have a single point of failure here. The name node collapses, then so that's why you have the secondary name node. This is nothing more actually than a sort of checkpoint. It doesn't actually do anything more than just copy. I'll get to that in a bit. There's also these lines here, so once in a while, all the nodes in your network will also send back local ports. So each of these machines actually lets the name node know that it's still alive, what kind of data it has on it, which data it has. Most of it already mentioned, so these name nodes, they, yeah, so you have the file system with the interface. There's also some very rudimentary notion of access permissions. Nowadays, to get authentication working properly. We're getting there, I think. And basically, these name nodes, they make it coordinated the file operations. So they directly define the request, and you can directly define where to go. There's no actual data moving through the name node. The name node just moves with everything. So very easy to compare which file is where. Alright, so now we have distributed file system. Let's say you want to run a job. This job. The process is very similar. Very similar. In this case, you don't do a name node, you do a job tracker. You have a name node and a job tracker on the same machine. You have to find submits. Job tracker decides where this particular job will run. And there can be various considerations here. So, like I said already, if these nodes already is doing something, then the job tracker will do something. So, like I said earlier, the execution framework handles everything else. What is everything else? Well, scheduling, the distribution, implementation, and the errors and faults. So, basically, as a developer, if you run things in Hadoop, the very of the process, right? You know, all you can define is a reducer, a combiner, a addition. So basically, you don't know where your things will run, where your methods will run, where your reducers will run. You don't know when they will run, when they are running, when they are running, when they will run. You also have very limited control over which particular inputs goes to which particular method. So that assumes that your customer is using more. Ideally, all your machines are on this is very safe. So you get some benefits because it's easy and it's very high level. But the downside is that you have to control over wherever you're starting.
The control that you do have over the flow, that's through manipulating keys, is it? That you think in terms of
you think in terms of key analysis.
Yeah. The key is how that's transferred, how you can route your
basically yes. And there are tweaks, there are always ways around this. In principle, all you can do is change your method and you can change together. One member of your job is into the next one. Number of iterations. But this is basically all you can control. The difficult method. You can't run it from your back. Any more questions so far?
Are there many alternative job shapes to try and improve those controls?
Are there many? Yes, there are many.
Are they useful?
I mean, that's a good question. So there are more variants of this. And all kinds of great clustering. Some great clustering members. But in terms of member use, Hadoop either open source, member use is either Hadoop. At the end of my talk, I'll zoom in on the latest version of Hadoop. More. Any more questions? So, to give you an idea of what this looks like in practice, how many people here program Java? So, I know you can. This is the whole program, whole class that you need to run one time. Can do this? It says 65 lines. Plus some typical Java overhead as well. Did you? Yeah. So this is Java, so you start with the main method. And this basically starts your job, right? So you get a configuration. configuration. In several kinds of parameters there. Basically, what you need to define is your mapper class, your reducer class, and you need to set the output. So these are the outputs that the reducer produces. And you specify the type of files that you'll get at input space format. And you specify the output. And finally, you need to identify the path on the file, where you read it from and do this right up. And you start. So to go back to the pseudocoding example about word counts, this is a mapper, and this is the reducer for count. It's super simple. So here's the top. Like I said, key value pairs, right? So for this particular input format, text file input format, which we get as key is the line number. Iterate all over the line number as well. And you get the line number and you get the text in that line. So remember what we do is we need to extract this particular line, tokenize it into individual terms, and for each term that defines each word, we need to write it out with individual words. And then in the reducer, you have the same thing. So the value is output from the mapper are reducer. Okay, so Hadoop actually has some re-implementations which are pretty. And it's why we support text. Let's say they're the same. And what the reducer does, again, so this will get, this reducer will get this return just only once, and without the sum, right? So you iterate over all the counts for the particular input. Calculate the sum. One of the nice things that actually one of the things I found very nice about Hadoop very early on is that you get all kinds of, they have all kinds of, let's say, web pages that are bundled with Hadoop itself. So this is the interface for the job tracker, so when you start your job, you can keep track using the web page, obviously the job how to do. So this is not the same job, this is not one. The remember it was the same. So you can keep track of the number of mappers that are running for the hedge funds. 1,500 of them. There are 10 reducers. And you get some statistics also how many of them failed or failed. If you click on these things, you can actually zoom in, drill down on your map tasks. You'll see how long each of these mappers took. And finally, you get an insane amount of counts. So these things range from the number of bytes that were read and one thing that I added just now is the streaming. So as I mentioned, so that implies a certain, well, very certain, very a lot. However, Hadoop also has this thing called Hadoop streaming, and it basically allows them to produce files with any kind of how does this work? Well, the basic idea is it's very similar to using pipes in shell, right? So if you do the root counting, like we saying here, we just count the number of protocols. So what you typically do is you pass some files you divide it to count it. Hadoop streaming is exactly this, but then it's able to do this distributed on the road. So if you think of output, we need to use network shell program. And this will do the same thing for them to do. So if you want just to get an idea of this Hadoop stuff, depending on Python. It's a bit more error prone. That's why it goes to shell. Right. This works.
If I'm using Hadoop, how it will handle the OLTP transactions? Hadoop, how will it handle OLTP, online transaction processing? It means if I'm dealing with a transaction processing system.
Online or transaction?
Transaction processing system. If I'm dealing with a transaction processing system, where read and write is very often, very frequent, but how it handles that? Because
yes, you can. Yeah, I mean, Hadoop is what it is. It's batch oriented. Like I said, you don't know when stuff will run, you don't know where it will run. Hadoop is not meant for screen. Although it's cool. But I'll get this in a bit because there are new frameworks that can do this.
Isn't it true to say that it's essentially complementary? Transaction system for collecting data and then it can use Hadoop to process
The process, exactly. The more that data warehouse you have situations, then
right. And you, I mean, I'm sure you can give us a good example, but you think of supermarket transactions, you get a whole lot of data, if you want to mine that data, this is what you do.
exactly.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no, yeah, but that, yeah. Hadoop is very much especially as we were describing now.
Did you have another slide?
Yeah. So, yeah. It is bad. So technically there's a timeout after 3 minutes. So each of these tasks, so each of these mappers basically process a file chunk by chunk, right? Or line by line. So whenever a mapper emits more or less without pairs, it actually sets a single list to the line. And there is actually a mechanism inside of it that says that I'm going so ideally, what you would like to do is split up the task in the mapper as much as many times. You're right. I mean, this could take. As your mapper is too much signal to
And you'll stream the final afterwards, when you get full the report still produce the
yeah, so the whole intuition behind Hadoop is actually what you want to do is you want to have a particular block of data, 64 megabyte block that's running through the file system. Get your computation there and start streaming from the beginning of the block. Yeah. You don't want to do any seeking, you just all right. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, if you get soon they're very confused because there are all kinds of other projects and that have been merged around a little bit. This environment is there's even way more. I won't talk about the first one, Embari. Embari is about managing the clusters. That's sort of a mechanism for automatically generating data. Zookeeper is very similar. The Zookeeper keeps track of your nodes to help them. I will be talking about Mahout in the next slide. And I'm talking about 8 days. With Cassandra and Meij are very similar data process data. I go with the help of the Google. So first of all, there's Mahout. I decided to put it in here using machine learning and all. Okay. Small number of ago. The idea behind it was basically is people decided they want to do machine learning on the we were going to have huge graphical processing in a reasonable amount of time. Why not apply it to some machine learning algorithm, rewriting machine learning? That was the idea. Otherwise, basically it needs to be distributed or otherwise scalable. So that means a large class of machine learning algorithms. The nice thing is that there are some of these implementations of level filtering classifications that are implemented. There are actually licenses. However, there are lots of these early implementations. So it's very fun. Work with all over the board. It also contains the JDOA, so we are playing with up. HBase, on the other hand, is a different story. So, HBase, I think, originally was developed by. Yeah, so HBase originally was developed by Facebook. And the idea is basically it's a big key value store, or it's a white problem store. So basically, you are column oriented, and your constantly so the idea is you can store huge amounts of quantities, huge amounts of hard data. Data is not a database.
In what sense?
You don't specify relationships. You can just store things.
The implication in relation to the function that is the key and you should be able to hold. Right? So you think it's more functional.
That's the only mapping notice. There's no mapping across data.
So there is mapping between columns, there's function relation.
No, you don't need to specify this. Maybe you're free to dump this thing whatever. So if you want to dump a bunch of int string pairs, let's say, and also an object string, then
It's like rows of lockers, isn't it?
yes, yes.
You could implement it as a graph database.
Yeah.
Okay. The real question is whether there is a schema.
Is that a real question?
Yeah. Table has to have a relation table.
You don't specify a schema before.
In other words, you know what shape the data is.
Implicitly,
Right, so then maybe a schema like reducing
the data instead of closing. Another nice one of these, let's say, potential projects is called T. And what Think is a we how we describe it. T as a high-level platform for creating memory controls. So basically, what it does is it sort of abstracts away this Java programming of users and it's sort of a high-level notation, sort of similar to SQL, right? Today. I have an example of this in the next slide. Give me one SQL. You describe what needs to be done with data, whereas SQL is more declarative, right? With all objects that perform certain statements. Things with other Java labs have research like that. 2006, we're still actively using it. So in fact, I think about 50% of all the and the idea, I have an example in the next slide. The idea is you write a script, or the document record shell, and you write a script in interesting. You can take it and translate it into MapReduce jobs. So, as an example, again, word count examples, the same word count example, then it's big. And everything here is states, right? So you have this variable A, you want to load your input file into this variable A. Which is basically now containing the inputs. Then you can add up this for each statement. So basically for each line in your input file, what you do, start here. This is actually all the lines. We're going to cast it to this. Doesn't matter. We're going to tokenize the lines. This gets automatically treated as a set. Okay. We don't want this. We want count sets, we want count words. So that's why this flatten operator there to wash out the elements. So, and you want to store in B each of these words. So basically, B now contains longest. Then the next stage, you want to group all these things in B by words. So you sort them. And then the next stage, indeed, you want to, for each of these work groups, you want to generate a time. And then you store this into an output file. So, yeah, okay, so this is basically what it does in the background. This will actually generate, if you want to specify this thing on here. In the background, this will generate automatically a number of metrics. I didn't include them here, but you can actually have a large number of people. First, you can do lines, and you have a large control over how you want to do it. Those two data sets. Super powerful thing, but it's pretty complex to learn. Questions?
Simon, is there any research going along into creating interfaces that look more like standard SQL? And I'd have thought Oracle and the like would have been interested in this.
Yeah, so HBase and Meij, they actually have their own query language. Because Meij and HBase are HBase is just joined, right? It's sort of a big data store thing. They do have, I think it's called a high query language, HQL, which is very similar to SQL, SQL, but then for their particular use case, use it to be data warehouse and kind of operations. Or use your own. There's no matter use it.
Yeah, that was really it, really, because I mean, obviously, yeah.
There are also some other alternatives for actually generating MapReduce jobs on the fly. There's some kind of graphic group-like interface that we can use. I never actually looked into. A few words on Hadoop. So Hadoop is supposed to be a typical version of control center, right? The front, if ever a large new feature is moved, then you put a branch, you start working on the branch, you implement your feature, however, what you see here on the top, this is the trunk, left and right in time. So at some point, someone branched out version 0.20.1, which then goes into 0.22. People started adding things here, and these things actually turned out to be very important. So this was actually a big bug fix, and this was a big security fix. Implementing strong security for HDFS. Did not even actually prevent other people from moving to a file up until then. So these two were pretty important things, right? And this basically led to sort of a divergence between the trunk and the branches. So at some point we had here the trunk ended up with version 0.23, which is actually a superset of 0.22 that was released before. And this you can actually see, so this 0.22 branch became released once, so it was download loop. On releases, we have to see this. So we have all kinds of different versions. We have this 1 something version, with the 0.22, and we have 2 point something. I can explain, yeah, so these are the 3 branches that exist nowadays. This one, but something branch is the one that I've been talking about so far. The old and this 0.23, people are allowed, and actually Yahoo uses in any case, so up until now, we're talking about Hadoop 1, let's say, and already mentioned some of these bottlenecks. So the job record is a bottleneck, the name of the bottleneck, from each other. These things collapse, the whole one thing I didn't mention is also the fact that once you configure your cluster, you can only specify a steady number of members and users per node. Let's say I have 2 kinds of nodes. In this one, I want to run 4 members in parallel. This one, and this might not be a problem for everyone, but this one only scales to 4,000. And actually, so the main node in Hadoop 1 stores the entire file system, so all the file applications. If you name those, it's going to keep it more or some. So in comes Hadoop 2, and it's also just 0.7. And Hadoop 2 has a number of improvements. So first of all, you can have multiple namespaces, like this example. And the biggest improvements in Hadoop 2 is Yarn. I'll talk a little bit about this more detail in the next slide. The idea basically is that originally you had basically a method use. And now you have a sort of a middle layer, it's called Yarn. And your method use is just one application. So you can have all different kinds of things. So stream-based processing. Already mentioned graph-based processing. But even now, API implementation. So what is Yarn? Yarn is yet another resource negotiator. But basically, there's so we have the job tracker, right? The job tracker defines both the job tracker and the job tracker. What they did was basically they took the two major functions of the job tracker and they divided it into two new things. You have a resource manager, I have a reference later on, and you have an application master. So these are two different things which try to balance the load. And there's also a node manager. So before you get a situation where you have only one name node, right? Secondary name node, not here. But you have now multiple namespaces. Important detail. They also have the possibility to have backup name nodes. So, and the basic process is still the same. It's still the same for reading or writing files. You can actually the differences just what you require to however, running job is getting a bit more involved here. So now in this situation you don't actually only have refugees and now you have this resource manager here. ASM stands for applications manager. Although you also have small application manager. So you have a client in the job. Okay, to the resource manager. And the resource manager keeps track of all the nodes in the cluster to see basically which nodes are available, to specify memory requirements, in this case, purchase requirements, much more fine. So someone just mentioned graph-based processing, with stream-based processing. So the nice thing about the Yarn is you can now actually have long-living processing. And the idea behind Storm is stream-based processing. Basically, the idea here is that it waits, this process will wait until new data is available. It will take the input and process it to the pipeline. So your pipeline itself is not full of policies. Very simply messages stuff. We have stream names. We now have stream responsibles. I'm not going to be talking about this. But the whole idea is basically whenever new data arrives, it will get processed through your incremental data. So the space-oriented view, where you say we'll go process the data now, you now wait for the new data and process it space-oriented.
So does this allow some
Near real time. Yeah, they're not very real time. So indeed, so this is very usable for online machine learning, but also for media communication. Or if you have a rule of virtual application various keep track of solutions for adapt the results. So we use Storm. Moving to Yarn is used by Twitter, by us. It's still a bit researchy, you could say. I think we have to use it. There's also Giraffe. Giraffe is a graph processing system. It's not Facebook. It works Giraffe. It runs in Yarn also, so it's also super scheduled and apparently special users to regularly analyze their definition graphs. So for the user friends, we calculate page reference and we find on this. Finally, there's an interesting one. This is Spark. So Spark is originally I mentioned Meij at some point. Customer manager software. And Spark originally started off running on Meij, but now it's used again. The idea behind Spark is that you actually store a lot of your data in on local disks, not also in here. And apparently, I didn't actually play with this yet, but apparently loading your data into your memory, but also if you want to query your data in here, then Spark is apparently super fast. People claim it's 10 times faster than there is, of course, a problem here if you exceed the physical memory size. We use it at Yahoo, but again, no version, I think, and Baidu. Near the end, so yeah, finally some notes. There are a lot of resources. If you want to know more about if you want to play with it yourself, you can look at Cloudera, which distributes images for creating a good cluster. OpenWorks is a spin-off from Yahoo. At some point back in the university also I worked with this Amazon Web Services. And they have the best you can buy your own. If you want to know more about the research or things that are ongoing, there's the main Hadoop conference last week, I think we'll continue online. And there are similar, I mean, there are various conferences for and if you can't find your rating, send me an email.
Visits the room and join us and hope you got value out of the talk. Terrific talk, Edgar. It's opened our eyes to a lot of new ideas. My first question is a good book?
Yeah, there.
Lots of books. Okay. Right, questions? I'm sure there's more questions.
It's Hadoop
Accurate.
No. It's just, I don't know. It's not really relevant. No.
Seriously, are there no more questions? Yeah.
Yeah, you gave us one example of work plan. Give us a few more.
Give us a real one.
It's fine.
Yeah, so one thing that I usually work with is the variable analysis. That you use Yahoo certain tools. Every interaction that you make with our system gets logged. If something you do, something goes somewhere, you'll always log. So I mean the same goes I guess for the normal file. So one thing that it's really good for is iterating over the amount of extracting clicks, certain queries, certain links between them from people. Also, just processing large amounts of data. So, for instance, I work with Slack search at some point. So, yeah, we use the workload with 3 days with the data sets. And then we use Hadoop to extract information. There's all kinds of link features and something to use it to big
So, yeah, right. Just to round up on that, so you mentioned Facebook, and you just mentioned Google using it paper. Yes. So, I think that could be played with the application.
Large scale application, yeah.
And are there, was I right in suggesting your application a bit more traditional places like supermarket, warehousing, or that's still not happening?
It kind of depends because I mean, so typical database management systems can be much faster in certain situations. Applications, for instance, the bad thing or the downside of it is there's a certain sort of program for but it takes some time. So there's some background. This is comparing days and what you find there is for joint in the long run, the port is going to be data takes on.
It's much more angled towards the big of the piece. Okay, sorry, go.
Just a quick question. So you're saying that this is meant for processing. What about storage? Storing the large amount of data that consumed really quickly?
Yeah, so the
Because like you're talking about transactions trading, is actually like every second just or twice a day. Is that useful for that kind of?
Yes. Yes, there are actually. There is a name of the project that is Storm. There's a similar project that actually fixing the cost. The nice thing about the cost is that you have all the local storage of your machines, your cluster, aggregating point. It's very powerful. So I mentioned that that is 60 petabytes of storage. It's not one device that we use it, but aggregate. So I do bring this issue to cost.
There was a question here.
Yeah, so you mentioned there's a specific system for helping you handle graphs. I'm particularly interested in sort of data analysis. Is there any systems that help you achieve clustering where ideally you want to look at the distance between every pair of records?
You're right.
Now that would be good as well. It just, the reason I'm saying is that all the examples you give are right selected counts. But if you've got 65 petabytes of record and you want to look at every possible pair combination, that's a huge exposure of processing. Are there optimization heuristic algorithms that try and compress it down?
Indeed, this is the RAM project that I mentioned.
This might be a stupid question as well, but how do you know if you get the right result?
What's the right result? Shall we assume that this is realistic?
It seems to me something that would be very hard to debug.
It can be very hard to debug, but not so much for getting the wrong answer. But for like if one particular matter fails and complaining, then it can be very hard to dig through log file right single node or
Can you, just to follow up on that question, can you exercise your MapReduce and on a small amount of data, you verify the security like operations, and then scale it up? So the problems are really in scale.
No.
It does scale, but you have a problem with sort of describing.
Right.
Which is not allowed that.
Challenging, yes, but it's not like, I mean, there's no sentiment. There's no. If you run the same thing on the same data twice, you get the same. Yeah, exactly.
Following the same recipe, can you do unit testing? Can you do unit testing of it?
Can you do unit testing? Yes.
Is it what you just described?
Can I ask you how?
Maybe.
Very sure. No, I'm kidding. So what you can actually do, so you can either run these Hadoop job programs on a big cluster. You can also just run them on your local machine. So if you download the jar, you start, for example, with a you build a Hadoop jar from Java, it will run on your local machine. So in that sense, you could have it way down.
Maybe just a comment on that, people in general, where you meant to do them, that are very good settings for the that's why. And test the users, which is what the testing is, I mean, when testing the whole Buddha, we put already say outside of the question from integration testing, but anyway,
Cool. Machine learning things that we work on are recommendations. So like I said, so we mind a lot of the user interaction data. Search something, connecting with something, and from this we infer preferences. If you prefer something else, documents, use items. And what we want to do is for a new item that comes in, we predict, for a new user that comes along, it becomes more active. And how do we do it? So we use historical interaction data to rank new items for the user.
That sounds good. Can you explain why Amazon always gets the wrong?
We always know right.
They always get it wrong. But I have very different interests.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions? More questions? Go ahead.
I've got one. HDFS used to be, get the right word, non-modifiable files you write once, you can read them many times, and you want to modify something you was writing in a separate file. Is that still the case?
No.
Okay.
So one of the things in 2023 is the 8-base fix that I mentioned.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's also going to come on because HBase clearly,
Exactly.
database is able to.
So this was a big bug fix for you. Without this
Okay.
fix, that was actually appending.
Right, okay.
And you actually won't be able to run 8-base without that.
So what's the typical mode of operation? You have to make the file system static before you change the data.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't actually know how
Is it a synchronization issue?
There is
the jobs are running while the data is being appended, then you have a problem.
yes. I think the snapshot is being taken from the node to if something gets changed in the meantime.
Very good. There's obviously a lot more. Yes.
Can you run something like Neo4j, for example, on top of Hadoop?
You for this is graph database, no?
Hmm.
I don't know.
You're back.
Yeah, there are a lot of applications that have nowadays combining trees that might be able to store the data. But we use
More questions? Right, okay. Thank you very much. Just before we thank Edgar once again, if anyone has not signed the attendance register, can they please be sure to reach out for their some of us will be going to the wine bar range, Champagne Charlie's, which is underneath the current station. With 200 metres from here. You're very welcome to join us if you'd like to. I should say that I normally at this point announce that our next talk will be in May, and I'm unable to do that today because we have some speaking. But do watch our web pages for details of when we do have that. And with that, thank you for coming, and thanks to Edgar for the Okay.
think that story is pretty relevant.
Yeah, but some kind of, I don't know, possibly
because you know the ability to be yes,
Well, the top, yes. No, I studied this. No, I 3.5. Yeah. But it's nice to see. Yes, yes. Right. I remember this room a long time ago when I lived in London, and then
I'm not.
very many years ago.
Yeah.
The modeling is, you have to do
Yeah, that's not going to go well, is it?